Hey guys, this is Matt Core from Ctrl+Paint.com, and today we're going to talk about choosing reference material. So if you look at this awesome screenshot from the original Alien movie, this would be a good example of reference to look at for composition. This can tell you a lot about good cinematic storytelling. If what you were learning to draw was anatomy, then a site like onlinelifedrawing.com is great because you can focus simply on the human form, turn it around in 360 degrees, and not have any of the extra clutter. Now, I like to think about studies as a way to treat art like a science experiment. Decide on one thing that you want to focus on and eliminate all the rest of the clutter. And it just so happens that the visual effects industry can kind of do this because 3D rendering has become so photorealistic that you can often create these science experiments of lighting inside the computer. So here, if you look at this first image, it looks somewhat realistic. But then as I turn into this second image, it looks much more realistic. And the difference is something that you could never turn off in real life, but it's very easy to turn off in a 3D render. And the difference is indirect lighting, which is to say light bouncing around from one object to another, which allows colors to bleed onto one another. This is something that's happening all around you all the time. So if you just want to focus on how that looks, looking at somebody's test render is a great place to see it. It stripped away all the extraneous clutter that you'd see in a photograph and focuses only on this one aspect of light. So what if what you were trying to study was not lighting, but materials, surfaces? Well, once again, visual effects artists are a great place to turn. If you were to do a quick Google search of VRay material samples, you would get objects that looked like these. These things do not exist in the real world. And in fact, these are some of the more mundane examples. You can get this same object rendered with alligator skin or any realistic material that would never be in this shape. But here it is, ready to be drawn. In truth, these 3D renders were not created for our benefit. The visual effects artists that were making these scenes were using it as a throwaway step on the path towards a cool, finished image of some sort. But if what you're trying to do is learn to paint, these are a lot like the classical still life on a table. This is essentially the same as putting a single teacup in a beam of light and painting it. You're removing all the clutter, focusing on the one thing that you want to learn about, and in doing so, having a better chance of learning anything at all. And since you might not be familiar with these particular CG terminology, I've put some good keywords at the bottom of the post that'll help your Google searches. And for those of you out there that are listening that make renders like these, please add to the conversation. I'd love to know more keywords that will help dig up this sort of imagery. So good luck, happy studying, and thanks for watching, guys.